Hey there, hi there, ho there, and welcome to Mike's Hard Reviews. My name is Mike, I'm one of the bartenders at the Hilton Gardens Inn Hotel, and there's no cold open today because I already shot this episode and unfortunately lost a bunch of footage. So we're going to dive into this one pretty quick and talk about my original special, the Rum Sorbet. So there's a little bit of background on this drink. One night I came home from a previous job, not the bartending job, but came home and decided I wanted a dessert cocktail. I made a single glass serving of the standard 80s, 90s Rum Sorbet punch that you cut with some ginger ale, and was not impressed. A lot of the flavors felt muted. There was a weird bitterness coming through in it, and I felt as though it wasn't elevated. It wasn't accomplishing what it was supposed to do. It didn't taste like sorbet. It tasted like rum and cream and bitterness, and just didn't work. Despite the fact that that didn't work, I set out to find a way to make it work. And based on the spec of a daiquiri, I've managed to, I think, come up with something that very appropriately resembles an actual spoonful of sorbet. Today, we're going to talk about that and make my drink, the Rum Sorbet. So everything you see on the table in front of you is going to be what you need. I'm also going to put this up on the screen here and down in the description below in case you want to follow the spec exactly. This is a shake and drink, so you do need a shaker in order to go for it. I'm going to use my traditional 3-piece Boston setup for a specific reason. This drink also includes an egg white, so we need to be able to hold the shaker together easily. This allows for that. We're going to start by taking a 1-ounce measuring cup, and we're going to pour in to the shaker 2 ounces of a white rum. I, in particular, am using a Bacardi Superior today. I have tried this with a spiced rum, particularly Bacardi spiced, and it's different. It's not the same drink. At that point, you're introducing spices and things that cause the flavoring to be more reminiscent of a orange creamsicle, actually. And as good as that is, I think that there are better ways to get that flavor into a daiquiri. As you probably saw in that little infographic that came up, there are a couple of really weird pours in this drink, and really only one that's super non-standard. It's for this D'Amour Raspberry Liqueur. This is pretty syrupy, sweet, almost medicinal stuff. So you want to make sure you don't get too heavy a pour into the shaker with it. We're going to go for about 1/3 of an ounce of this into the shaker. The raspberry is going to add a lot of sweetness. It's going to add a lot of robust flavors. It's going to be pretty hard to balance, which is why it's there in such a small amount. The next thing we're going to add is 1/2 ounce of De Kuyper Triple Sec. This is an orange liqueur. You could also use, technically you could use dry Curacao, you could use Cointreau. I would steer away from Grand Marnier, but that is technically an option if you really wanted to go for something different. That would add some interesting cognac brandy notes. I don't think that's what this drink should be, but if you wanted to give it a shot at home, by all means, go for it. 1/2 ounce of that into the shaker. We're going to shift measuring cups and switch over to one that has a 0.75 ounce cup on there for some lime juice. Again, I use real lime juice. It's 100% lime juice. This is the best stuff on the market you can get if you don't have time to juice your own lemons or limes or citrus in general. Put a good amount of that in there. Now, like I said, this is based on the spec for a daiquiri, and a lot of daiquiri recipes call for some simple syrup, so does this one. We're going to go for 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup into that same measuring cup as before, and we're going to toss that in. So there's basically the entire drink made into one glass. This is the original recipe that I came up with it without the egg whites so far. One key difference I'm going to make here real quick is the inclusion of some ginger bitters. Now, the reason I'm putting this in there is because a regular rum sorbet punch is going to be made with some kind of diluent, club soda or ginger ale. And I want this one to use ginger ale to kind of give some spice to these flavors, wake them up a little bit, and add some variety. I'm going to go for 2 whole dashes of ginger bitters in here because there's enough sweetness from the liqueurs and acidity from the lime juice to really muddle those flavors, and you don't want to lose them when you drop that bitters in. So once we have everything added to the shaker, all we have to do is introduce the egg white, do our dry shake, and then shake over ice. I'm going to go ahead and crack this whole egg, just the egg yolk, or rather the egg white, sorry, into our shaker tin. That was probably the cleanest break I've ever gotten on an egg right there, actually. Now that egg yolk is in there, I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned off. Okay, so now that we have that egg yolk in there, I'm going to do a quick dry shake. I'm going to shake it with ice, and we're going to call that good and pour it into our glass. I'm going to do this off camera to save battery. This new rig is a little bit weird to work with. But when we come back, we'll be pouring it into the glass, and we'll show you what the final product should look like. So here we have a finalized cocktail. The usual shake process applies with an egg white. Dry shake first, no ice. Then release the pressure, put the ice in. I use all cracked ice for this recipe to get more dilution in there. Crack this open, and we're going to pour our drink. Give it up to a nice wash line. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Rum Sorbet. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the Rum Sorbet. Now, normally I would garnish this with a wedge of lime, just to give it something if you want to get a spritz on top if you really wanted to, or just drop into the drink. But I don't have any limes right now. So instead, we're going to go without it and see how it tastes. Yeah, that's it. So once you get all those flavors in balance, what's really cool about this drink is that the egg white gives you this kind of creamy, easy, super simple mouthfeel that introduces these flavors in a really mellow and interesting way. It tastes very pure. With every sip, you can get all three flavors in distinctly or at the same time, depending on how each sip goes. If I were to break it down, you get some of the orangeness first, and the raspberry comes in, you get this kind of berry note. And then the citrus actually lends this like slight bit of tart bitterness to it. And this little bit of lime, bright flavors going on in there. It's really, really good. And actually, I'm noticing, I think I might be missing some of the ginger flavor a little bit. No, the ginger's in there, but it doesn't taste prominent, bold ginger. It's not Domaine de Canton ginger liqueur from France, which is really good. It's just spice, ginger spice in like the middle part of your tongue almost. It's bright, it's refreshing, it's super easy to drink, and most importantly, it actually looks really, really good, which is really important for a special, especially if you're going to be putting it on a menu and broadcasting it to the world. In my opinion, that could beat a bowl of rum sorbet punch any day. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this cocktail. If you get a chance to make it at home, you can also find me on Twitter at MikeHardReviews and send me your comments there about what you think about the drink, what it's making. Send me your pictures of the drinks you've made or what drinks you want me to cover on the show, and I'll talk about them. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Like I said, you can find me on Twitter at MikeHardReviews. There'll be a link in the description down below. I gotta go back into my videos and add that into some of the older ones. You can also comment if you guys want to, get in touch with me, suggest stuff for the show, and if you want to see what the next episode of Mike Hard Reviews is going to be, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and then click the bell to know when I'm posting. I usually try to post at noon Eastern Standard Time every single Saturday, so stay in touch, and we will continue forth with these experiments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until the next video, stay tipsy.